Hey there! So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a limited amount of automation on a website without using Selenium or any other fancy program. I am going to be using GitHub because I like to put my code there and then export my code onto a web page. And you can easily do that using the fetch, uh, the fetch function. So you would type in. Okay, so let me show you my GitHub. So this is my GitHub. Here, I put the code here. This is my code is, and if I want to get the raw code, like just the code itself, here it says raw. So I click on raw, and this is the code itself. I just click on the address, copy that, and let me just show you. Let's go to a website here, and I'm gonna type right here. So what you do is you would right click and go to inspect, and it brings up this console right here. And then you go to console, it says right here console, you click on that, and then this is where you can start inserting code. So you can say like alert 1, and then it actually shows it up onto the website. So you can actually insert code onto the website. But so a great way of using this is to use a fetch. So fetch is inbuilt into your browser, and it's just one of those basic fundamental programs. So you do fetch, and then you do quotation marks, and then you put the link to your where your code is. Like if you have a GitHub repository, then you can actually put your code there. And then over here you would put dot, then, right? Brackets, like that. And inside here you do like you can put any letter, but I like to use the letter R. So R equals I'm doing another so here I'm doing a function. So inside the then I'm putting a function here. So basically R represents what you're getting from the website. So what you got from the website, type in r.text brackets. So I'm grabbing it from the website and I'm converting it into text. Then I use another then brackets and then we put another function in here. So R is what we're getting, like what we have thus far. And then I'm gonna use the eval function, type in eval, so eval. And basically you can put whatever you put inside the brackets for eval, it actually just runs. It runs the code. So thus the code is thus in R, so you put R. So all you have to do is do this, type this, copy this, and just put this into here, and it'll run your code from your GitHub repository. So you don't actually have to copy and paste your code into here, because your code could be quite long. So you can actually just put your code onto your GitHub repository, and then you just can export it onto any web page you want, and you can like sort of automate it that way to some extent. Okay, so let me show you a couple things that you can do. So first, you have to be able to grab stuff from a website, right? So a great way of grabbing stuff from a website is using like elements. So let me show you. Let me show you here. So these things in brackets, all these things, these are elements, and you want to be able to target these elements and then be able to manipulate them. Like for instance, over here, it's an input element. I believe there's only one input element here. So here in the front, it says that's the name of the element. So a great way of targeting those elements, let me just get rid of this, is type in window document. So this refers to the current document, current website. And I like to use querySelector because it's very useful. There's other ones. There's like find element, but I rather use querySelector. When you do querySelector, it only finds the first element. If you do querySelectorAll, it finds all the elements that has with whatever you're looking for. So you querySelector, double quote. It could be single quote, double quote, doesn't really matter. And there's a couple ways of searching. You can search for the tag itself. Like for instance, if you're looking for the input tag over here, there's an input tag here, right here, that's input. And I can search, let me just type this up here. Let me show you what happens when I put it into the code. I say the console, and let's just get rid of that. Let's paste our code. It shows you this here. This is the element. It actually shows you this over here. But let's say there's more than one input. So if you actually use query select all, it shows you a list of all the inputs. But I believe there's only one. I believe there's only one input here. But if you use all, it shows you a list of all the inputs. So apparently there's six inputs here. You can if you look here, and if you want to select one of them, all you have to do is type the code again, and then choose the number that you in brackets. You put brackets there, and you choose a number. Say let's say you want to choose the first one, put 0, and it shows you the first input right there. Okay, so let me go back here to the elements. Okay, so over you see over here, there's a couple other ways of searching. There's various ways of searching, and that's why I like to use query selector. You can search by the ID here, and if you want to search by the ID, you would type it, you put in that, and then you put the ID, whatever the ID is. In this case here, the ID here is search submit. Here, search submit, and it would actually target this element based on that there. And the great thing about ID is there's only one in the page. There's not multiple IDs with the same name. So there's only one in the page. So targeting IDs is a great way. You can target classes. If you look here, there's a couple here it is. There's a class. There's multiple. There can be multiple classes. So I don't like to search through classes, but if I have to, I have to. And the way you search through classes is by using a dot. And when you do this dot, it searches for all the class. Like if you don't have query select all, it'll find the first class that matches this. But if you use query select all, it matches all the classes. Uh, that it will actually it will find all the classes. So those are some of the ways you can use query select all. You can actually you can actually find stuff. Let's say you find um here's this there's a div element here, and then underneath this inside this div element is a label. So what you could do, if you wanted to, you can actually do div, and then the arrow means it's inside, and then you do label, and it will basically search it to that way. So div, and then what's inside div label. So that's one way of searching. If you just put it beside each other, it will actually search for them actually being on the same, like not inside each other, but as neighbors. They're looking for neighbors. Like for instance, like this form. Okay, like these here, this one. They're like these are neighbors, but they're like beside each other. But if you put a squiggly line, that means they're right beside each other. So there's a div, and then right beside div is a label. Okay, but I'm giving a little bit too much information right now. I also want to show you how to go in, like how to go search it, childs and parents. So if you want to go up one class, you can actually let's say you're looking for images, but if you let's say you're searching for that, but you want to target something else that's like relatively nearby, another element that's relatively nearby to this image tag. So what you can do is you can type in parent element, parent element, and what that will do, it will go out. So let's say you're inside this div, it will actually target whatever is outside that div over here. It's just form, because div is inside form. So if you do type in parent element, it will actually target the form. And you can do another parent. You can do as many parent elements as you want, right? And if you want to go inside, you can actually use. Um, if you want to go inside, you can actually use children, and that will show you all the children that are inside. But if you want to choose something specific, you would use brackets and the number corresponding to it. So, for example, here, let me just clear this, and then we just do that again. So here we are targeting this first input, but let's say you want to get out, so you type in parent element. So it actually now is just showing the div, and inside this div there are all these other stuff inside. And you say you want to target maybe the second input or the third. So you would type in the same thing, then you type in children, right? And then it will show you a collection. and it will number it. And let's say you want to actually target this second input over here. So you would actually type in here children and then brackets the number. In this case, would be 2, and it will give you this element, the submit element right here. So that's how you sort of navigate. So let me just put up here. So you can do children and then like maybe 2, and then you can actually target the child from inside that element. Okay, so okay, so that's sort of the basics there. Let me show you what I'm doing in my code specifically. So in my code, in my situation, I'm waking up in the morning and I'm looking for jobs, and I just don't want to wake up. I just rather hear noise if something interesting is coming. So here I have a couple. Here is this is the update button on the website. So I wanted to click on it every couple. Every I have an interval, set interval, set not this one, but set interval, and it's basically a loop. It's looping it over every 10 seconds, and every 10 seconds, it's clicking on this update button. So I have right down here, update dot click. So first, this is back over there. That's the element. Oops, this means so that there is the element. This here is an element, and then type in dot click. It will click on that specific button, that element there. Over here, I have these are base 64 strings, because if you want to play like I don't want to upload any, I can't really upload anything, but you can play. Let's say you're an let's say you have a sound that you like. You download an MP3 player, then you can type in Google. You can type in MP3 to base 64, and in this website here, you go here and you put in your whatever MP3 file you have here, and it will output you the base 64 code. And in that base 64 code, I just pasted right here. This basically I call this sound string Bing, and I put the code here, the base 64 code. That's basically the data for the sound. And then I make a new audio. I make an object here. I just named it SND for sound Bing, new audio, and then this is this standard stuff, data audio wave base 64, and then plus, and I put the string right here. So this string here is right down over there. And if I want to play this, all I have to do is dot play and then brackets. So that's how I get to play. So over down here, over here, that's the sound string. I have an SNG Bing and then dot play, and then basically plays the sound. So in my code, I'm also looking for here. So I have my sound strings. I have my So these are the sounds, and these are basically some of the jobs I'm looking for. So I have math, science, and some schools and stuff like that. And over here, I'm targeting basically anchor tags. And here, I'm also targeting buttons. So I'm looking for all the buttons, and I'm looking for all the anchor tags here. And here, this is just a for loop that's looking through all the buttons, I believe. Yeah, these are buttons. So it's basically looking through all the buttons and looking for a button that has the word continue in the inner text, or the inner HTML that says continue. If it sees that button, then it will click on it. Right here, click. So basically, because a website wants to time you out. Like it says, "Are you still there?" And then you gotta say yes or no. In my case, it says continue. So whenever this window pops up, can click on continue, and then it's gonna let me stay on the website longer. I think it lets me stay on the website for about an hour or so. And over here, down here, I'm looking through the anchor text, basically the website, and I'm looking for specific keywords. First, if you see this one here, to lowercase, basically I'm just transferring all the text into lowercase. And the trim function here basically gets rid of the beginning and ending spaces. So there's if there's spaces in the beginning of the text or spaces at the end of the text, it gets rid of it. And here I'm just targeting the elements based on, like, let's say I went to school, so I target based on the subject, and then again I use parent element, children, just to navigate my way towards that specific element I want. Same thing with load, like how long is the course, 100% or less than 100%. I'm also targeting it. You don't need this toString here. I put that there because I'm not quite sure why. I think I was having trouble with the code, but I'm just leaving it there. And same thing here. I'm targeting the link. So basically, I'm just navigating it to get the link. And over here, I'm using the includes function. So the includes function, this returns like a true or false statement. So it's either true or false. So here's array subject. So this is the subjects that's on a list. So these array over here, right? You can put a string here, or you can put a list. And then over here is what I'm looking for in that list. So basically, if if the subject is inside this list, it'll return true. That's why I have here bool. Bool means true or false, right? So it's bool subject. Is the subject there? True or false? Is the school there? True or false? School 2, school 3. I have different schools and I have different sounds for basically how attractive the job is. And I even have the bool for if it's 100% or not. This stuff here you don't have to worry about. That stuff is just like debugging. Maybe I should show you over here as what the code looks like. So because this is kind of small, you can't really see. So the code looks like this. So this here is your either a string, like a long string, or a list of an array of strings. So let's say list, and it includes and then whatever you're looking for. Let's say you're looking for a specific word like dog inside this list, and let's say the list here. Let's say list, and there's a bunch of different animals there. It's like I don't know, Rottweiler, or and then something else. Anyways, includes will return either true or false if it's there, if it's present or not. Okay, so here I have here if the subject equals library and it's a full course load, then play this Bing sound noise. And I open the link here. But actually, I've been trying to figure out how to open a link and just like sort of continue down that rabbit hole and click on other things, but it won't let me. Apparently, I'm stuck on the one web page, so that's a limitation. On the next line, I said else if the subject is what I want, subject is either yes or no. So if it's true and it's the school that I want, if that's true, and if it's 100% course load, if this is true, then play this noise. I think it's like this one is like a click. Over here, same thing. If the subject is like because like I have a hierarchy of what jobs I want. Like some jobs are more attractive than others. Same thing here. If the subject is there and if it's in the school that in the second list, and if it's 100% course load, then play this noise. So ideally, I would run this code in the morning, and I would just be in bed. And if I hear specific noise, I would get up and accept the job and try to get that job right away. Like, there's no point in me having my eyeballs glued to my computer, hoping for a job, and I'm like losing sleep over. I might as well just stay in bed and just listen for the job that I like, that I want. Anyhow, I think that's about it. Unfortunately, the website is down, so I can't really show you this in action, but you can take my word for it. Okay, that's about it.